Scooch this a little back.
Okay.
Welcome to Stretch and Sip. Thanks for coming, everyone. So I'm turning up our music. Does that sound okay to everyone?
Oh.
I believe it started. I hope so. Because for our friends at home, we're going to start in a river pose today. So you can put your feet in front. We're starting seated. And we're going to ground ourselves from our hips. So you can pedal side to side, kind of push back and forth to find your center so that you're sat right on your tailbone. And then you're pushing from your hips, your chest comes toward your knees, and then your hands start to reach toward your ankles. So you're starting this movement from the hips. We've been practicing some different points throughout our body to help align us. This requires us to use all of those points so that we're engaging the full body to bring our head down to our knees, chest toward the knees, and fingers toward the feet. Nice and slow. We're just getting stretched and warmed up. Hearing a quote for the evening, Carl Jung said, "No matter how isolated you are and how lonely you feel, if you do your work truly and conscientiously, unknown allies will come and seek you out." So this week for Advent, the theme is peace. And peace to me is synonymous with contentment. We've been working a lot on that. Let's start to put one leg up toward the hips. So we're stretching out just one foot at a time. You can grab onto the side of the foot here and push those toes slightly up toward the knees to deepen the stretch. Bless you. And we're not going to lock the knees here, so you can keep it slightly bent, slightly off of your mat to prevent any injury there. And you'll see how I'm pushing up just from the side, right on the ball of my foot, pushing those toes up to stretch through the lower leg. We'll hold this for one more breath. And then exhale, opposite leg out. Inhale, right leg comes in. And again, stretching to that opposite side. Again, my hand is just pushing gently on the side of my foot towards the top so I can push those toes toward my chest. Aligning those points, the chest to the knees, knees slightly bent and not locked here. We'll stay here for one more breath. Again, exhale this opposite leg out. And now both the feet are to the front. My hands are going to come behind me to either side of my hips to support me as I scooch just slightly forward so that I'm able to bring my body down fully. Keeping those hands to the side throughout that movement to support you and stabilize you as you come down to your back. We'll stay here for just a moment, just melting into our mats. Grounding not just from the hips now, but through the entire body, melting into your mat. Then we're going to choose just one leg at a time to lift toward our chest. So I'm going to start here with my left, and my knee's going to come toward the left side of my chest. Hold it there for just a minute, ensuring that the rest of my body is melting into my mat. One more breath, and then as we inhale, we're going to push that left knee down toward the right side, ensuring my body is still melted into my mat here, so we're not lifting the hips at all. This movement is coming from my knee and just pushing it toward the opposite side of my body. Here we'll exhale, coming back to center. One more push, bringing that left knee down to the left side. Should feel a little more flexible now, focusing on stretching the hips here. Keeping the abs engaged by pushing up slightly from the belly pushing from the right knee down toward my right side, keeping the rest of my body melted into my mat, like it's glued to my mat here so that it's not picking up at all from my mat. Just focusing on moving my knee towards my chest. One more breath, and then as we exhale, bring it toward your left side. Again, try not to lift from the hips at all here or from the waist, keeping the rest of your body melted, glued down to that mat. Reach out, guys. Staying here for one more breath, and then exhaling back to center, bringing that right knee down to the right side one more time. Great job, everyone. Keeping our bodies melted to our mats here. This movement is coming just from our knee. Now let's exhale, coming back down fully to our mat, taking a deep breath here. Put your hands here at your rib cage to feel that belly breath as you inhale into your nose and exhale fully from your mouth. On your next inhale, go ahead and bring the knees up. So you're bringing the heels toward your hips here, however is comfortable for you. Just ensuring that those hips are staying centered, staying square as you lift from both toes. Now both of our knees are pushing down toward our chest. Still, those hips are staying glued down to your mat. And again, a good way to stabilize and ensure this is to push down from your spine and push up from your belly button. So you're engaging your stomach here, feeling a slight squeeze in your abdomen. Great job. If you'd like to deepen the stretch in your hips, you could put your hands behind your knees on your hamstrings and give a slight push from that direction. If you'd like to engage your upper body, you can stretch your arm out to one side, your head can follow. So your fingertips will guide your gaze here. Stretching out the left arm and looking toward the left side. Exhale the right arm to the right side. Encouraging that chest to stay open. As you exhale one more time, pushing those knees down toward the chest, and then exhaling, toes back down to your mat. Great job. So from here, we're going to just move the knees side to side, keeping this movement dynamic now. Feeling looseness and flow through the hips, especially when you're just stretched. As we consider today how we're looking for contentment, the awesome thing about church is that it's a great place for believers in hope and goodness to come together and promote positive change. And so we're here tonight together, affirming our value system, affirming the goodness in ourselves and in others. Let's stop here at the center and inhale our knees to our chest. And then bring our hands between or on the outside, whatever's comfortable to you, so that you're pushing from your heel to bring those knees down to either side. This is a happy baby pose. So however you want to get here to bring your knees down toward either side and the feet up toward the ceiling. Whatever's comfortable for you. Here we're not focusing on keeping our hips down. That would be helpful focus on is bringing the chest and the knees together. Just shortening that space between the chest and the knees. Bring the knees up and to the side. And the hands will guide our heels down to meet our chest. From here, let's bring the knees back together and mimic that same movement where we're moving side to side, feeling that flow through our hips. Just rocking gently from left to right. So a title from an article I read recently from SideQuest said, "You don't need an aesthetic, you need a value system." That is a great way to think of our search, our seeking for peace and contentment. We find contentment through applying and affirming a value system that works and feels good for us. So here, let's stop at our center. Exhale, our feet back down to the front. Continuing that dynamic movement slightly. And then fully stretching toward one side. So I'm going to choose first the left. I'm going to drop my knees all the way down to that left side. In the same way we stretched our arm out to one side, we're going to do that on opposite sides this time. So my knees are stretched to the left. My arm is going to stretch here to the right. Again, my gaze will follow my fingertips. So I'm turning my chin as well to my right side while my knees are falling towards the left. You should feel a twist here through your side. Just a slight spinal twist, keeping that right hip off of our mat here. Let's exhale and bring our knees back to front. Our hand comes back to our stomach or ribs for a full belly breath. Continuing that dynamic movement. As we exhale to the opposite side. So now my knees are falling toward the right. My left hip is up. I feel already that full twist through the side of my waist, the left side. I'm going to stretch in that direction using my fingertips. My gaze will follow. My knees are to the right and my fingertips are to the left. Turning the head just slightly here. As we're reminded this week reminding us of peace, especially that many times in the Bible someone is going through trials or tribulations, and God, instead of sending them clear or calm skies, sends them tragedy. This is a good reminder for us to remember that God is growing us into someone who can handle something greater, building strength in us to be better. So let's exhale here, bring the knees back up, hands back to the ribs. For a deep breath, you can continue that dynamic movement. Just moving the knees slightly so we can recenter our hips, especially here. And then go ahead and move into that opposite side that you started with, minus the right. This time turning fully to the side. My hand can come out and catch me, and I'm pushing up from my palms so that I can twist all the way over to my knees. Take things nice and slow here. I'm going to try this so you can see me. Because we're going to come right into a child's pose. Coming right up to our knees and then pushing the hips back to the heels. So my toes are down. Now I'm taking things nice and slow, melting down to my forearms. Bring fingertips to extend the upper part of my back, stretching that chest down to my knees, and fingertips to the front of my mat. Think about lengthening the spine here. Creating space between the hips and the shoulders. Especially focusing on pushing that chest down to your knees, creating openness in the chest, stretching that upper back. So sometimes in life, God does give us more than we can handle. Life gives us a lot, and it can be overwhelming or stressful at times. Our mission this week in seeking peace and seeking contentment is to learn to lean on the one who can handle anything. Sometimes God does give us more than we can handle, but our feelings don't foster contentment, faith does. So today, as you're breathing, let's fix our eyes on God, fix our eyes on faith, centering our minds, hearts, and bodies towards faith, hope, love, and goodness, promoting peace in ourselves, others, and ultimately through our communities, in actions, in ways that we present ourselves, the ways we show up for others with ourselves. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths, just melting into our mats. Before pushing back up to the forearms, releasing the hips from the heels. So come up to the forearms and then push up nice and slow onto our palms, coming up into tabletop now. Here you can warm up your mid-back with a slight cat-cow, looking up and pushing that belly button down. Then tucking the chin, then tucking the hips. Exhaling back up. And inhaling. Just scrunching. On your next inhale, go ahead and release back to center so that you're aligning your shoulders with your wrists, your hips with your knees. Our feet should be about shoulder width apart here, still keeping those toes down toward the ground. Paying attention especially on how the wrists are feeling here as we push our palms in, centering from the base of our palms. As we hear in quote, meditation is like a shower for your mind. So as we stay here for a moment, I encourage you to close your eyes or find a spot maybe between your thumbs to fix your still down, about shoulder width apart, as are my feet. What I've done is pushed up from my hips. So we're centering from our sacrum here, our tailbone, making that the highest point in our body now. The rest of our body is being pulled down toward our mat, letting gravity melt you back down to your mat, especially from your feet. So as you're here, it's a great idea to focus on how the weight's being distributed in your foot. A great way to imagine that is starting at your heel, moving through the side of your foot and up to your toes. To feel that distribution, you can pedal slightly on your feet, allowing the weight to shift from the front to the back. As you do so, ensure that you're feeling the weight shift through the side of your foot. Just grounding from the feet here. Again, finding our center and practicing that moment of meditation, fixing the gaze between the toes or closing your eyes. Let's practice 2 deep breaths together. Slightly toward the front of our mats, pushing onto the balls of the feet, keeping those hips in the same position for our downward dog. Our head is still down. Feel free to relax and reset if you'd like. In here, in your downward dog pose, pay attention to how those wrists are feeling, because now we're using both of those sources to support our weight, our feet and our hands. So you should feel in your feet the weight centered in the ball of your foot, through the side especially. And in your hands, you should feel your weight at the base of your palm. Feel free to pedal those feet and hands as needed, finding your center. We'll stay here for one more breath. And then as you exhale, walking the hands back to our forward fold. Bending the knees slightly here. We're not focusing at all on our posture, just focusing on bringing the head to the knees here. So closing that gap between the chest and the knees, the head and the legs. Great job, guys. And we'll again share a moment of meditation, and this time I'll share a verse as we do so. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication and thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. And so from here, let's start to bring our heads back up, lifting slightly from the chest so that we can push the hips down and back. I'm going to center first from my knees, keeping the knees over the ankles here, and then bringing the head up slightly from the chin for a chair pose. I'm going to put my hands here at either side so that my fingertips can guide my gaze yet again up toward the ceiling this time. Great job. And here let's share a moment of meditation again, those 2 deep breaths. Some shakiness is fine, we're breathing through it. And as we exhale, we push those hips back up and hands back down. Great job, you guys. So we're staying again here in this forward fold for just a moment. Again, taking the weight off, especially our upper back here. And then mimicking the same movement, coming straight up into our chair pose, but this time extending it fully to either side and pick one side to start. I'll start here with my right. And what I'm doing is just swinging the right arm toward the left side. My left arm comes slightly above the elbow to provide a gentle push into the chest. So you should feel a stretch through the right side of your shoulder and upper arm. Great job. And a nice challenge here would be to walk the feet out slightly and to extend this stretch all the way down toward the left foot. So you can go ahead and release that left and right arm down toward the left foot, completing that full side stretch through the waist, down through the hips, and all the way through the left leg. Grabbing on slightly to the left ankle or side of the foot for stabilization here. Again, paying attention to how our feet are holding our weight here. From the heel through the side of the foot up into the ball of the foot. Nice and slow. Let's bring it back up the same way we started. Coming right back up into that side stretch. Maybe twisting the body to the side. Good, mimicking that same stretch through the waist. Before releasing with an exhale, back down to the side. Bring the feet back slightly together as we breathe again 2 times into the belly to engage the core here. Again, you exhale and bring the arm to the side. Now my right hand is pushing slightly above that left elbow. Feeling that stretch through the side of my left shoulder. Then slightly walking the feet out a bit more than shoulder width apart. And exhaling to extend that stretch fully through the side, twisting through the waist, down to the right foot now. Again, grabbing onto that right ankle. Pedaling the foot if we need to find that steadiness from the heel through the side of the foot up to the toes. Let's inhale straight back up into that shoulder stretch. Bring the feet back together and arm back to the side. Extending by twisting toward one side. Including the waist through this movement. Now let's drop our arms to either side. And bring our hands behind our back. Interlocking the fingers behind us. To now open from both sides. Bringing the shoulders up, back, and down. Slightly push them together. My hands are interlocked still here around my lower back or my tailbone. And imagining each of these points, focusing on aligning from them. As we remember, there is nothing like the peace of God, peace of mind. This is His gift to us, the end of suffering and the start of eternal peace. May the Lord of peace Himself give you peace always in every way. The Lord be with all of you. So our hands are behind our back here, chest is nice and open. Let's align from all those places, all those points that we practiced today. Starting from the chest, we're going to bring it down toward the knees. Releasing the arms down toward the ankles. Back into that forward fold. Letting our toes down, hips back toward the heels, fingers stay toward the front, finding ourselves back into our child's pose. Deep breaths here. Pushing back up, the hips come back to tabletop. And now I'm choosing the side to push toward. Good, hands come back to either side of my hips. And my feet come toward the front so that we can finish the same way we started in our river pose. You guys did a great job moving through this full body sequence today, aligning all those points so that we might focus our heart posture, fixing our heart, minds, and bodies on Him. Let's finish up with a prayer tonight. If this is a comfortable pose for you to finish on, to meditate and breathe and pray together, then feel free to stay right here in river pose. If you'd like to lay down fully into Savasana, that would be a great time to do so that we can finish today with a breath and a prayer. Oh Lord, thank you for offering me the gift of peace. God, forgive me for being